Hey there, nice to see you again. And you know what? It's that time. It's the time of day not to have a little cheeky sleep and 40 winks. It's time for a speedy read. Yes, have you got time? I hope so. Because I've got a bit of a cheeky book today. It's a cheeky book, as you will soon see, because it's called The Dinosaur That Pooped a Planet. I know. I couldn't resist it, to be honest. So it's from the creators of The Dinosaur That Pooped Christmas, called Tom Fletcher and Dougie Poynter. And it's illustrated by a lovely guy called Garry Parsons. And yeah, I've been told this is quite a funny book, so shall we give it a read? All right. Then 1, 2, 3, have a speedy read. I hope this is all right. Let's see. Okay. Danny and Dinosaur liked to have fun. Some days they had lots, some days they had none. I guess that must be Danny. That must be his dinosaur. Yeah. One day they were bored. They had no games to play. Danny said, "Dinosaur, what shall we do today? We could mow the lawn, we could tidy the place, we could do our chores, or we could go to space." "But you mustn't forget to have your lunch," said their mummy. "You cannot have fun without fooding your tummy." So they packed a packed lunch for the Science Museum, where rockets were kept if you wanted to see them. And look what they're going to have in their packed lunch. They're going to have tomatoes, sausages, ham, turkey, cheese. My goodness, pickled onions even. Yeah, pickled onions. Oh, and that's a monster-sized sandwich. There were hundreds of rockets and spaceship surprises, tall ones and small ones of all shapes and sizes, and one that was ready to launch with a door, big enough for a boy and his pet dinosaur. What do you think's going to happen? They ignored all the warnings. They couldn't care less. They pressed all the things that they shouldn't have pressed. T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition! They started their intergalactic space mission. They pressed the red button, they're going to take off. They flew higher than houses and buildings and cranes, much higher than birds, even higher than planes. Look at them zooming up there. "We're in space!" Danny yelled as they floated around, but the dinosaur's tongue made a rumbling sound. "Is it time to have lunch?" Danny looked at his watch. Then he looked all around for the dino's lunchbox. Danny started to worry, then started to panic. They'd left their packed lunches back home on their planet. Look at terror on his face. What's going to happen? So, with no food on board, not the smallest of crumbs, a disastrous dinosaur feast had begun. It gobbled up gadgets and gizmos galore. Nothing was safe from the space dinosaur. Robots and ray guns and blinking red blinkers, eating things thought up by NASA's great thinkers. The hyperdrive gamma reactor machine was swallowed along with a space tractor beam. He's eaten everything. It chewed and it chomped on the spaceship controls. The rocket was dotted with dino tooth holes. Inside it was bare. The spaceship was empty. Outside there were more things to eat. There was plenty. It broke down the door with a cool ninja chop. Out in space, dinosaurs are much harder to stop. My goodness me, what's it going to eat next? It chomped on the moon like a big chunk of cheese, then shoved even more in its mouth with a squeeze. It munched on the Martians from Mars and their cats. Their cats are like ours, but their cats wear cool hats. Satellites, Saturn, and 6 supernovas, shape-shifting saucers, and 7 space rovers. It guzzled 5 gallons of fuel from the tank, and Danny's jaw dropped as he watched what it drank. With a crunch and a crack and a nom 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 nom, in one dino gulp, their rocket was gone. My goodness me, now nothing was left. All Danny could see was a fat dinosaur where the rocket should be. And so they were stranded with no way back home. Just Danny and Dino in space all alone. My days, what's going to happen to him? Now Danny was crying. He cried and he cried. He cried and his tears filled his spacesuit inside. Unless they were going to stay there forever, the dinosaur needed to do something clever. With a feeling of guilt deep down in his gut, its brain brewed a plan involving its butt. It knew there was only one thing it could do. To get them back home, it needed to poo! Oh, what's gonna happen? Like a poop-powered rocket, the dinosaur flew. Dan hopped on its back, and he watched as it pooed. It pooped out the robots and ray guns and blinkers. The things NASA's thinkers thought up were now stinkers. It pooped out the moon. It pooped out the stars. It pooped the space rovers and Martians from Mars. When Danny looked back, all he could see a poop trail from far out in space to the dinosaur's tail. They headed for Earth and they started to orbit. It pooped on the clouds, but the clouds just absorbed it. Look at him go. The moon coming round in a circle. He's coming into Earth. They flew past the buildings and streets of their town, leaving the houses all smelly and brown, and finally landed back down on the ground. Hooray! Danny cried. We are home, safe and sound. They looked to the sky, and the things that were pooped had formed a poop planet right next to the moon. Oh, I'll say that again. I almost got that wrong. They looked to the sky, and the things that were pooed had formed a poop planet. Oh, right next to the moon. And so Daddy promised to listen to Mummy, because fun is not fun without food in your tummy. Lesson to be learned. And just when you thought all the pooping was done, a Mars cat plopped out of the dinosaur's bum. There we go. Well, I'll leave that up to you. Is it right? Is it wrong? I don't know, but it's a funny old book. The Dinosaur That Pooped a Planet. By Tom Fletcher and Dougie Poynter, illustrated by Garry Parsons. And I thought that was quite funny. And yeah, it's funny, the person who gave me that to read. Yeah, thank you. We've read it, and it's gone out there with all the other Speedy Read books. Thank you very much. And I will be back soon with a few more, because I will be here in my dressing room doing some more reads. Okay, so I hope you come back next time, and we can have some more books, maybe on a different theme. All right, see you later. Cheers, bye.